This morning, stock futures are mixed. The Dow futures are up 12 points, while the NASDAQ futures are down 120 points, and the S&P futures off 21. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Merry Christmas from the Farmers State Bank in Oakley. We invite you to stop into our lobby for coffee and cookies throughout the month of December as our small way of saying thank you to our loyal customers. We appreciate your business in 2025 and throughout our 118 years of community banking and look forward to serving you in the new year. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. The American Red Cross of Greater Kansas put out a press release offering tips to safely heat your home during the holiday season and warning of what can happen if you don't do it safely. Of the 60,000 plus disasters the Red Cross responds to year by year, home fires account for the vast majority of those, according to their release, and those disaster responses typically increase during the winter months. On average, Red Cross disaster action teams in Kansas and Oklahoma responded to a fire every 6.5 hours in October. The Red Cross recommends to keep no space heater or live fireplace unattended and to keep a screen on your fireplace if possible. They also recommend testing your smoke alarm each month and getting annual inspections on your furnaces, chimneys, fireplaces, or other flammable appliances to reduce risk. More information can be found on our website. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Today, temperatures are bounced back aggressively due to returning westerly downsloping winds, and record highs are possible, reaching into the low 70s. Dry conditions will persist with an upper level ridge expanding into the central plains. However, the warm-up will be short with another dry cold front sliding through tonight, bringing light northerly winds and partly cloudy skies. Lows will be around 30. Friday and Saturday's highs will vary but be much colder, dropping into the 30s in the McCook to around 50 in Burlington, and in between will be 35 to 45 with more clouds, northeast to southeast variable winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Lows will be in the mid-teens to low 20s. Sunday is a transition day with warmer air to the west entering and colder air moving east with highs in the mid-40s to low 50s. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, unseasonably warm air returns with more sunshine and highs climbing back into the 60s. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the WKS Radio Weather Center.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
This holiday season, jolly old St. Nick and his helpful elves at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware are stocked up and ready to make Christmas merry and bright. From festive decor and handy tools to gift cards and great stocking stuffers, they've got something for everyone. Go bigger with Traeger or Weber grills or even Blackstone griddles, Yeti coolers, or powerful Eagle snowblowers that make winter easy. Make holiday shopping simple. Shop local at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit! Here comes McMahon, he'll score! Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
K-State gets the ball to steal. Sides picks it off. Cotton running the fourth. Sides pull up three. Top of the circle. She drilled it.
Minnesota the ball. We're back to action. A steal. Braden Smith, his 5th steal of the game. Purdue on the run. Left to right. Lawyer got hammered as he got to the basket, and he made the shot to boot. An and one opportunity for Fletcher Lawyer.
And you got it to single digits.
Oh, LeBron James! A ferocious flush.
Sanford driving. Butenzel 3-ball. Got it! Bang, 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 bang. Burke Butenzel came into this game 2 for 20 from 3, and he nails that 3-ball.
Ooh, the rest of the Big Ten should be shaking in their shoes after last night's performance. Woo! Don't touch him. White hot. That was fun last night. You know, I don't have as, I enjoy college basketball season, but it's not my favorite season. But last night was a lot of fun. I could get behind winning by 30 points every single night, Connor Schuh. I could get behind that. Makes me feel comfortable, feel comfortable the entire time. But good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, December the 11th, and it's not going to feel like December today. If anybody's seen me, look, Connor's in a t-shirt.
It's going to be 70 today.
You even have pants on? That's the question. You even got pants on today? No pants today. It's going to be so hot. It's going to be so hot today. Temperatures could be possibly record-breaking. Temperatures could eclipse 70 degrees in some spots. And in some spots, north of the border, McCook, Nebraska, for example, I think could possibly see a record-setting temperature today. But temperatures in the 70s here in December. That's got to make you sick. You are not a fan of warm winter weather.
Not at all. Save it for the summer. I mean, well, save it for the summer. I mean, we can't do anything about it, but there's a whole nother conversation to be had another day about that. But I am not a fan of the warm winter at all.
It's a whole nother conversation for another time about warm weather. How is that possible? How much more could you have on this thought?
But that's not show talk.
Oh, I don't know. I think it sounds like perfect show talk on a Thursday.
You don't want me to get into it.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. As we push along here on the Morning Blitz, today's program, we will get into our NFL Power 5 here in just a matter of moments. We will talk some NFL, particularly the Denver Broncos, with our good friend from DNVR Sports. Henry Chisholm will join the show. The Denver Broncos cruising their way towards one of the top 2 seeds. Will they finish in the top spot in the AFC is the question. I'll tell you what, I got to have this discussion later on the show. The Sharon Moore situation, if you're not following what has gone on in Ann Arbor the last not even 24 hours, it is ridiculous what has gone on in Ann Arbor with the Sharon Moore situation. Former now head football coach for Michigan. I've got some thoughts on that coming up here. And of course, we cannot forget it is a massive, massive day in hoops today. The topside tip-off gets going today, as does the the Sagebrush shootout over in Brewster. And the purple and gold in Waukene resumes tournament play today here on this Thursday. Plus, there's some great wrestling as well, including the Lady Eagle Invitational over in Colby. So we'll touch a little bit more on that in segment 3, but it is a very busy day, the first of what are 3 consecutive loaded days in the local sports calendar. So I hope you got a lot of rest last night, Connor Schuh. I hope you're feeling charged and ready to go.
I did. We're good to go. Ready?
You got some late games tonight on 100.3 The Ride. You'll be start tipping off at 7 and 9 Central Time, so some late games.
I'll be around there at old Max Jones for a while.
It's like Pac-12 after dark, but without the pack.
I yearn for those days to come back.
Yeah, good luck. I don't think that's going to happen. That's for sure. So,
anyway,
lots to get to in today's program. As always, the FNB Bank text line is open at 922-22. Our very dedicated listener, Jared, apparently, are you chiming for, he says, go Big Blue. So I'm guessing he's cheering for Michigan for some reason. And then apparently you and him chit-chat about the top 5.
We did.
In basketball or what?
The NFL Power 5. He had a pretty good list. And I'm like, I was going down it. I'm like, that's basically the same as I came up with.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, as we look at the NFL Power 5 in just a matter of moments here, it is a great week of NFL football. Again, there are some very, very good games on the dock. Starting tonight, by the way, with a Thursday night game that did not make my Power 5, by the way, Atlanta and what is it?
Bucks.
Yeah, didn't make my game. Sorry. Something about the NFC South has never intrigued me. I don't know why.
Especially not this year.
It's almost every year. Yeah. The NFC South is a division. I feel like if it fell off the earth, I wouldn't miss it. I don't know why.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Harsh.
I know that sounds terrible, but I don't know why. I don't care about the NFC South. Nothing about those teams intrigues me, I guess. I don't know why, but
never a Cam Newton fan.
You know what's ridiculously dumb about this is I was a huge Mike Vick fan, and of course he played for the Falcons. But I think I only like the Falcons because of Mike Vick. That's the only reason.
Shame.
I said I don't know, and it was fun to watch. The Saints come back from Katrina. I mean, that was neat, but I don't know. I can't explain it. I wish I could, but I cannot explain it why I do not have any feelings towards the NFC South.
It's not your region. I don't know.
I guess it's not. Apparently, I'm a guy who's used to colder weather, and that's all warm weather, and I don't see it. But at the same time, I don't mind the NFC West, and that's warm weather team. So, like I said, it doesn't matter. Complete different side note there. Real quick, before we get to the NFL Power 5, yesterday in college basketball, K-State women lose at home 64-53 to San Diego State in their final game of their home non-conference slate. Phillipsburg native Taryn Side, 16.7 boards, 5 assists. She stuffed that stat sheet for sure. K-State, though, shot just 33%, committed 20 turnovers in a loss to San Diego State yesterday. Wildcats closed to the slate Sunday at Creighton. And, of course, Nebraska basketball spanked. As the kids say, belt to you-know-what. Belt to you-know-what on Wisconsin.
BTA.
Yeah, BTA to Wisconsin, 90-60 in Lincoln. to match the best start in program history, 10-0. Rink Mass with starting the program in 10 should say 10-0 is how I should put that. But nonetheless, Rink Mass, 17 points, 10 boards. Braden Fager, 15 points off the bench. 54% shooting. They absolutely shot the living lights out of the gym because of just great balance. I mean, they were good inside. They were good outside. If you've never watched Nebraska basketball and you're a fan of basketball, I suggest you watch. Just watch a game. It is honestly some of the most entertaining and beautiful basketball you can watch. I had a texter from the show, listener Larry, texted me during the basketball game last night, and he goes, "Boy, Nebraska sure has great ball movement." He goes, and it's true. Watching them move the ball and move without the basketball, the cutting, the passing, the shooting, the scoring, it is a thing of beauty. And on top of that, they are really good. That Wisconsin teams in the country, I think close to almost 80 points per game. They were held to 60 last night. It was a really impressive performance from Nebraska. Now, they have a very difficult game on Saturday at Illinois, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off. But if they do, I mean, look out. This is going to be probably the best basketball season I've ever seen in Nebraska basketball, in my history of watching Nebraska basketball, because it hasn't been that good. It's a stay the very
good start.
It's an unbelievable start, but what a performance last night for Nebraska basketball. Just absolutely hammering Wisconsin, just hammering them. That was an unbelievable performance. Okay, let's dive in. We got the NFL Power 5 here in week number 15. My goodness, what a good slate it is here in week 15. All right, let's get rolling with the Power 5. Your honorable mention, Connor Schuh.
It took a real internal battle to not put this on my Power 5, but I had to keep it dialed in. I think you know where I'm going. The Browns at the Bears. It's a battle between two fun young quarterbacks. You can't deny what Shadur did last week. He balled out. Now it's time to say, all right, can he play like that against a pretty good team?
And he has been named the starter for the rest of the season, hasn't he? Or just for the
season? It's the rest of the season, which I think should have come a little bit earlier. Dylan Gabriel was not the answer, but I like watching Caleb Williams too on the other end. They're playing at Soldier Field. It's probably going to be cold. I think the predicted temperature is in the negatives. I have a buddy from Chicago who's thinking about going, and he says those ticket prices are just dropping because it's hopefully people show out for that one.
Would you go if you had a ticket?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how much of a fan you are, if you're going to go stand out there in the frigid cold or not.
I haven't been to a Browns game in a long time, unfortunately, but I would go and I'd stick it out.
Okay. All right. Good to know. There's some fans like, just stay home, watch on TV. You know, I got my own bathroom, got my own.
Be a real fan.
Got heater. I'm just wondering. Didn't know how great of a real fan you were when it comes to certain teams.
I ride for the Browns, man.
What a group to ride for, let me tell you.
It's not a great one, but I'm there.
You and Brett Clow, you guys ride for the Browns. The NFL Power 5, my honorable mention game. I'm going to go with Indianapolis at Seattle in my honorable mention game. Look, Indianapolis is in a bad spot. I mean, think about it. They were looking like world beaters when we were, third of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Didn't know if anybody was going to be in there. Defense was unstoppable. The offense was rolling with Jonathan Taylor, racking up 200 yards a game. And Daniel Indiana Jones was playing out of his gourd. Unfortunately, another Achilles injury, which I agree with the thought on this. There's been more Achilles injuries in the last 3 to 4 years than there ever were prior that I can remember watching sports, honestly. So I don't know what's going on with human development and involvement, but Achilles are popping left and right.
Say, have you seen the spread for this game?
I have not. What is it?
14.
Ooh, it's huge. Nonetheless, now the question is, does Phillip Rivers start and get it? Does he get in the game? Even if he does he? Because honestly, that's probably the biggest reason why I'm intrigued.
They have to let Riley Leonard start. I mean, come on. He's 44 and he hasn't played in I don't think he's played since the 2020 season.
It's amazing, but Grandpa Phillip Rivers could possibly play in a football game. I don't think Indianapolis stands a chance in this game, by the way. Jonathan Taylor can only do so much. For my fantasy team, I hope they just ride him to where he has 200 yards.
I think they will.
This is going to be Seattle's win. Seattle's playing way too well. 10-plus wins. They get forgotten about up in the Northwest, but this is a really good football team. Indianapolis at Seattle, my honorable mention game here in the NFL Power 5. All right, let's get cracking into the top 5.
Number 5.
Okay, I'm going to start out with the Dolphins at the Steelers. This one, I don't think you would have thought this would have been such a fun matchup a couple of weeks ago, but the Dolphins, I mentioned it at the top of the week. They've been surging. They've won 4 straight, and they're looking better. Tua doesn't quite look like he looked a few seasons ago, but he's looking better. Devon Achane is a beast at running back. That dude can run the football. He's one of the fastest players I've ever seen. And then the Steelers are just trying their best to defend what's unfortunately a horrible AFC North this year. They're 7-6, just above the 6-7 Ravens, and the Dolphins also 6-7, trying to claw and fight for a playoff spot. They're kind of in the spot like the Chiefs are. They'd have to probably win out and get some help to get into the playoffs in the AFC, but you never know. You might as well try. They're going to be trying, and Mike McDaniel is probably fighting for his job still. So I think they're going to play some inspired football, and same with the Steelers and old man Rodgers.
I'm the same. This is my number 5 game, Monday Night Football game, Dolphins at Steelers. You look at the numbers for Tua this year, they're not pretty. 18 touchdowns, 14 picks. But Devon Achane, over 1,000 yards rushing this year, 7 touchdowns. He's looked really good. The Dolphins are a top 8 rushing team, this year. Very, very good. And you look at the Steelers defense has not been the steel curtain, that word. It's more of that plastic one that hangs in your bathroom this year, to be honest with you. It hasn't been that great. But I don't know. The Steelers are still fighting for that. Steelers have to win. I still think the Ravens have a shot. The Bengals have a shot of winning this division. Sorry, the Browns don't. But those other 2 teams have a shot of winning this division. So you got to keep winning. And boy, you would hate to have an L against the Dolphins. And like I've said before, if the Dolphins keep winning, Mike McDaniel just makes it more and more difficult to be let go. Just absolutely does. And there are Dolphins fans that are like, please get rid of Mike McDaniel. And it's not going to happen if he keeps on winning. They're just going to keep him.
You can't. Can't do it.
Nope, cannot do it. All right, there you go. Let's move on here. NFL Power 5 on to Number 4.
Chargers Chiefs. Maybe if this was the first, if we go back to week number 1, I'm sure we picked this as one of our top games. But now we're much farther down the line, and this game is it loses the luster. It's still a good game because the Chiefs still have that just very slim chance of making the playoffs here. But they're coming off probably their worst performance in a while, and the Chargers are surging. They beat the Eagles in an overtime thriller. Thriller might be a strong word. That was a bit of a messy football game. Very messy football game. On Monday Night Football. But they're trying to chase down the Chargers right now, and a good place to start would be beating another divisional opponent in the Chiefs. So see what Jay Herbo and his broken hand can do against the Chiefs, who still have a really good defense. I think it's going to be a fun one.
I don't know. This game didn't even make my top list. I've lost interest in the Chiefs just because it was that drive. There was just drives in that game the last time they were out. Throwing the ball, Mahomes makes a great play, throws it, hits a wide receiver in the hands, dropped. Kelsey can't make some catches, drop. I mean, I saw something about on the New Heights podcast. Travis Kelce looks like, he's kind of talking like the season's over because it is. The Chargers have stuff to play for. The Chiefs kind of don't. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs can dig out of this hole. The season is over for Kansas City, so it doesn't have a lot of implications. Unlike my number 4 game, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Now, this is a game that has some implications for you there. Why? Because we just talked about it. The Steelers are trying to hold on to that top spot in the AFC North. But guess what? It's going to be really, really hard to do when you've got Joe Burrow, who I still think I would be concerned. Like, if I'm in the AFC North and Joe Burrow his pulse is beating and he is in the lineup, I'd be concerned because the Bengals are going to put up some points. I don't know if they're going to stop anybody, but they're going to put up some points. And so, hey, this is a scary deal. And the Ravens, had a chance to win a game last week against the Steelers, blew that. Lamar, I think you said it. I think you said Lamar looks a little bit off in comparison to previous years. So I don't know. This game is up for the grabs, and I still think the Bengals have a shot of making the playoffs. Very slim, but still have a shot of making the playoffs. And I think with Joe Burrow in the lineup, they have a great chance of possibly doing that. So that's going to be my number 4 game. When you have Baltimore at Cincinnati, rivalry game, those teams do not like each other. And so that means we got great emotion, and it'll be interesting to see Joe Burrow against Lamar Jackson, number 4, in my NFL Power 5. All right, moving on.
Number 3.
I thought about putting that one in there. It was a late admission, but my number 3, Lions at Rams. This one's a lot of fun. On one side, the Lions are in probably one of the closest division races at this point in the NFC North, only really rivaled by the NFC now. Well, the NFC West is pretty close too, and the Rams are right in the thick of that. They're tied with the Seahawks for the number 1 spot there, and Detroit currently outside looking in behind the 7-3-1 Packers and 9-3-1, excuse me, and 9-4 Bears. So they need wins badly. There's a chance they could even miss the playoffs with a pretty good record. So they need every win they can get, but they've been stumbling a little bit recently. But you know who hasn't been stumbling? The Rams. The Rams have kept it going, and I know the Lions, they got the Cowboys last week, but tough loss against the Packers the week before. But on the Rams side, they're 10-3. They still have one of the best teams on each side of the football. They just annihilated the Cardinals after getting upset by the Panthers a couple weeks ago in week 13. It's going to be a good, maybe close football game. My only worry is that the Rams are just playing with just insane energy and beat the crap out of the Lions, which I think is a real possibility.
Interesting. My number 3 game is a game that someone might have at number 1, honestly. The top 3, I think, could all be pretty interchangeable. But I am going to go with a great game, I think, that's going to be happening in the AFC East. Patriots-Bills. The top
3?
spot. Yeah, this is number 3 for me. I think it's because of what's going on with I just don't know what to make of the Bills. Yes, the Bills have the second best offense in the NFL at almost 400 yards a game. Yes, they have Superman Josh Allen, who's been unbelievable. Been great to see. But man, there are just times you're like, how do you lose to the Dolphins? How do you struggle with this team? How does this happen? You should be winning these games a lot easier than you are. And they just don't. Heck, even the game against the Bengals, which I know I just gave a lot of props to the Bengals, but the Bills were in that game. And, there was a chance, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow throwing a pick 6, there's a chance the Bills lose that game as well at home in the snow in where they want to play. It's amazing. They make everything look hard. On the flip side, the Patriots have made everything almost look easy. Drake May looks great. That defense is great. That entire roster is playing so well underneath Mike Vrabel. I think the reason why it's number 3 for me is, yes, this is a big division game, all that kind of stuff, but I just don't know what to expect out of the Bills. I don't feel confident knowing what we're going to get, and because that, the Patriots could honestly win this game by a touchdown or more. They really seriously could. They seriously could.
By a touchdown. Okay, we'll see.
They could. You wait and see. You never know. All right, into what? The top 2? Here we go.
Number 2.
Yeah. Packers-Broncos. That's easy top 2 game right there. It's going to be really entertaining. Jordan Love and company have been putting it together. Their defense put the clamps on last game at the end against the Bears. Can they clamp the Broncos in their methodical game managing offense? I saw something that Nix, he embraced the game manager label. And I think it's fair because that's kind of how he's been playing this year, especially as of late. And it's been working pretty well. And if they can do that and their defense can stay playing as good as it can, and who knows, maybe J.K. Dobbins can make a return at running back too, and you can get the two-headed monster of him and R.J. Harvey back. That'd be a lot of fun. But they're hanging on to that defense, and it's a matter of can they stop the Packers in their home building. Let's see what happens. I think it kind of speaks for itself. It's going to be a really good game.
I'm sorry. I have to break away here. I was just checking the TV, and on the Dan Patrick Show, they're talking to a guy from the Detroit Free Press following this whole Schuh and Moore deal. I think the guy is doing his Zoom call from either the DMV or the booking. From the booking there. I swear. That's where it looks like he's doing it from. Like, I swear, it looks like the DMV. Like, what's this guy doing the report from the DMV for? Nonetheless.
Maybe you got to get one of those new real IDs.
I don't know. It's really interesting. Nonetheless, sorry, side note, but I thought that was it's like, why is this guy doing a Zoom report from the DMV? Nonetheless, my number 2 game, one who ever talked about, Lions-Rams. I haven't gotten off the Lions train yet. I picked them to be in the Super Bowl. I still think they have all the pieces to, especially offensively, to win a Super Bowl. I don't know about defensive. At least the pass rush to win defensively, to be in the Super Bowl. I know they've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and this will be a very difficult game for them defensively for the Lions to slow down this Rams offense, which is absolutely just on fire. But both offenses, by the way, top 4 in the NFL in total yards per game. They're top 4 in points per game. There could be a lot of points in this game, which I think makes it highly entertaining. Lots of great playmakers all over the field. This should be a highly, highly entertaining football game. Really good game. My number 2 game. All right, on to number 1.
Number 1.
You know what it is already? It's Bills at Pats. And I hear what you're saying about the Bills. Things look hard for them. That's totally fair. I mean, that Bengals game was maybe a little closer than you anticipated, but Bengals are a different team with Joe Burrow. And heck, that was a classic. That was a lot of fun. I didn't get to see it, but watching a lot of the highlights, it seemed like that was just an incredible quarterback duel. But Bills, Pats, I mean, the Pats haven't really, they've only had like 1 or 2 legit, like, hey, that's a really impressive win against a good team wins. And that was against the Bills. It was pretty close, 23-20. And now the Pats play them at home. It's going to be really entertaining. I think it's going to be another close ball game. See if Josh Allen can figure it out. He has that tough Pats defense, and we'll see if Drake May can keep building that MVP case. I'm excited for it.
By the way, for me, number 1, probably, what do you want to call it? Not recency bias, but location biased. Broncos and Packers coming in here at number 1 for me. Like you said, I think these teams are evenly matched. I think they're very evenly matched. Both teams have very good defenses. Both teams' offenses can be really good, but at times have not looked great. They're not dynamic. I think, like I would say, the previous game we're talking about, Rams and Lions. I think those offenses are dynamic, whereas these teams might have better defenses at this point in time. In fact, both are top 5. The Packers number 4 at over 302 yards per game, and 308 for the Broncos at number 5. This is going to be a great game. I know it doesn't have any implications when it comes to, divisional races or anything like that, to an extent too much, but I still think this is a very entertaining game. Can the Broncos defense slow down Josh Jacobs, and can the Broncos run the ball against this Green Bay Packer front will be the big thing for me. The battle there on the defensive lines, because both teams' offensive lines are elite. Can Bo Nix create something? He's going to have to probably run a little bit. He's going to have pressure. Micah Parsons is going to be back there at times. He's going to have to create with his legs some more. I love this matchup. I think it's going to be the best game in the NFL this weekend. No doubt about it. Packers at the Broncos there for the NFL Power 5. Like I said, boy, what a good slate. This is a really good slate. Really, really good slate. Really enjoyed this slate. So, then speaking of Packers, Broncos, we're going to take a break. Up next, Henry Chisholm, our good friend from DNVR Broncos, is going to join the program next to talk about this matchup between the Broncos and the Packers and everything having to do with Denver as they storm their way towards possibly the top seed in the AFC when it comes to the postseason time. We'll get to Henry Chisholm next here on the Morning Blitz.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
At F&B Bank, we believe local businesses are the heart of our community. That's why we're more than just your bank. We're your neighbor, your customer, and your biggest supporter. From the corner cafe to the hardware store downtown, we're walking the same streets, shopping the same shops, and investing in the same future, yours. We're here, we're local, and we're always in your corner. F&B Bank, banking built on community, member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas, with your morning market update. It's Thursday, December 11th, and the overnight corn up 2.5, 446 3/4. May up 2.5, 454 1/4. July up 2 at 459.5. December up 3/4 at 464.5. Soybeans on the Jan up 2 3/4 at 10.94. March up 1.5 at 11.02 1/2. May up 1 3/4 at 11.12 1/4. TC on the March up 2 1/4, 525 1/2. May up 2.5, 537 1/2. July up 2.5 at 550 even. Chicago wheat up 1 3/4 at 531 1/4 on the March. Feeder cattle 338.37 1/2. Live cattle 226.80. Lean hogs 82.45. Crude oil futures down $1.03 a barrel at 57.43. Gold futures up 21 an ounce, 4,217.40. Silver up $1.59 at 61.97. U.S. dollar index down 45 points at 98.31. Dow futures up 25, 48,132. S&P futures down 26, 6,865 3/4. Need to move into cash grain or want to talk about risk management? Can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Sulu, or Tyler Ghosh, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hainty or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
LivestockMarket.com offers all the tools you need for a successful production sale. The easy-to-use online platform makes it super easy to take bids from anywhere in the world. Buyers can place pre-bids and real-time bids, browse your sales catalog, and
every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
F&B Bank text line lighting up today with lots of thoughts. Listener Jared L. thinks that Connor should have listened to him about being the best game of the week. So apparently you need to be better listening there, Connor.
I like Bills Pats more. What can I say?
That's fine. Great listener Michael says Broncos D putting B to A on the Packers O, and Bo Nick's going to light it up. We'll see about that. And Kyle, once again, great listener. Kyle has great questions. You know what, Kyle? We'll get to that in our third segment. How about that? Because something has to do with Sharon Moore, which we'll get to that all coming up in a little bit. But waiting patiently on the Hoover Lumber Hardware Hotline, our good friend Henry Chisholm from DNVR Broncos. Good morning, Henry. How are we doing today, my friend?
Not bad. Still early, of course, but it's fun. Broncos practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so the Wednesday is the first day you're back there after a couple of days away, and it's just packed with reporters at this point and people everywhere because this is the best they've been in so long. So you get there, so many stories, so much writing, so many late nights. But it's a lot of fun at this point.
Is this the most media coverage you have seen in your time of covering the Broncos?
I was trying to think about that. I believe it is. So my first year was the year Russell Wilson got there.
Let's ride.
Mr. Unlimited.
So I'm trying to remember because it just faded so quickly that I want to say that this is the most, because it just builds throughout the season. Eventually you get more national reporters out there, just as the field of contenders whittles down over the course of the season. But I would have to say that this is the most.
Henry Chisholm, our guest, DNVR Sports, covers the Denver Broncos for those guys out there. You said there a little bit ago, so many storylines. I'm kind of curious, what are some of the bigger storylines that you find fascinating?
Well, as of now, the big overarching one is just the race for the number 1 seed. And the Broncos are obviously in great position. They hold it right now. They hold the two-way tiebreaker with the Patriots. So if you wind up with those two teams at the top, Broncos get the top seed. If a third team joins and things get messy, but as of now, it's kind of tough to see who that third team could be. A couple tough games, maybe all 4 games are tough, depending on how you look at it down the stretch. But big storyline is just, can you get that number 1 seed, get the bye, have the playoffs run through Denver? From there, I mean, RJ Harvey, the running back, filling in for what can he provide in the ground game? Because the Broncos really had that clicking before JK got hurt. You're starting to see it come back. It's tough to know, did RJ look so good because he's figured out what he's doing, or was it because he was going up against a pretty weak Raiders defense? So that's kind of another one you monitor. Quarterback is always a storyline. Is Bo Nix ready for all these big moments down the stretch? Now, I want to say he's second. Yeah, I think he's, as of now, second in game-winning drives for a quarterback in his first 2 seasons in NFL history. Only Andrew Luck has more, and still has 4 weeks to go in games where you might need a game-winning drive. So in the big moments, he's been able to come through, but are you able to get just a little bit more and maybe avoid having some of that stress late in games? I'd say those are probably the big storylines at the moment.
Henry, I saw something earlier today that Bo said he's kind of accepting the, I guess, game manager term. Do you think he's a little better when he settles in and kind of lets stuff come to him like that, or when he's trying to make those explosive plays?
Yeah, it's a good question. Because I remember we talked week 1, we were excited to see what he looked like in year 2, and then he got out there, and the first couple of throws looked incredible. He's rolling out of the pocket and throwing against his body and finding guys downfield. You're like, oh my goodness, this guy has kicked it up another level. This looks like something special here. But the rest of the game, he's got the happy feet going. He can't really settle in. He looks like his heart's just beating a little bit too fast. And over the course of the season, you kind of seen him flip between that guy where he's a little bit antsy. He's maybe progressing through the reads a little bit too quickly instead of holding on the first read and letting things develop. Over the past few weeks, you've seen a little bit more of the cool, calm, collected Bo. And that's where he's at his best. And I think what comes along with that is maybe hanging in the pocket a little bit more and just delivering the ball to a receiver instead of trying to take off and run and get to the second play. And more than anything, it's just picking and choosing your spots. The trait that got Bo into the first round was his ability to create off script. It's the ability to use the athleticism to find a way on third down or find a way in the red zone or when you get close to the end zone. But you don't always need to be trying to break the pocket. You don't always need to be moving a million miles an hour. Because sometimes, especially when you play a Raiders defense that just wants to sit back and not give up big plays, you just got to get the ball to the guy right in front of you for 4 yards and keep clicking. That's what he did on Sunday. I think that's what he's done for a few weeks in a row now, and things are working pretty well for him.
Henry Chisholm, our guest on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Are you surprised at all that they've been able to continue this success without much of a really highly successful rushing attack, I guess is the way I want to put it, ever since J.K. Dobbins went down?
Yeah, I think so. I think you look at so again, J.K. got hurt against the Raiders. I guess it'd be that Chiefs game would be the one that you look at and say that could have gone differently because they weren't able to run the ball very well. They didn't have much of a formula there, but were able to, hold on to a lead for most of the game against the Chiefs. And typically when you're trying to hold on to a lead, being able to run the ball really helps. Now, it also helps that the Broncos have a pretty developed screen game, so they're able to find other ways. Like Bo being able to find some short completions consistently to keep the offense on schedule helps as well. Although I guess now I think of it, in that Chiefs game, they were really throwing the ball downfield a lot. They were kind of just hunting the big plays, and got a couple of them, which was enough. But no, I think that may be the biggest determining factor in whether the Broncos actually can make a run through the playoffs is, do you find a way to run the football? And it helps, left guard Ben Powers, one of Sean Payton's big free agent additions, his first year he was in Denver, is back at practice after missing a couple of months now. So, I think the issue isn't necessarily the blocking. It's more so just a rookie running back finding his footing. But it certainly wouldn't help to have one of your better blockers back, and hopefully he's back on Sunday.
Henry, I don't know, just me looking from the outside. I mean, I look at this Broncos team and I think, man, they have a great record, and yeah, they look fine, but there's something holding me back from buying all in. To get from an outsider's perspective, why might that be? Why would someone be holding back from buying all in, unlike maybe they would with the Patriots, who looks like at times looks a little bit more complete of a team? But what are your thoughts?
I think the Patriots have just had more blowout wins. Like there are a lot of games where you sit there and you watch and you're just having fun watching the Patriots if you're a Patriots fan. With the Broncos, it's taken some work to get to this point. They only have 2 real blowout wins, and that was when they played the Bengals. Bengals, of course, at the time didn't have Joe Burrow, so that was counting. And then when they played the Cowboys, and the Cowboys just didn't belong on the same field as them. And Cowboys now look like a little bit better team, but this current Cowboys team that's finding a way to string together wins is not the team that the Broncos played back then. So it's the lack of those nice, easy wins. And, you could even probably throw a couple, even this Raiders game on Sunday, the Broncos had that game in hand the whole way. 2-score lead throughout, 3-score lead at times. A couple crazy things happened in the last couple of minutes for the Raiders to be able to kick the tying field goal. Not the tying field, the field goal time expires to pull within a touchdown. But I think that you go through, and I think, the defense has been awesome. And when you play that defensive style of football, a lot of games are going to come down to the end. And, it doesn't give people confidence like it does when, the Patriots go out there and put 41, I think it was 42 to 20 something against the Panthers. There's a whole list of those games where they're just blowing bad teams out. And, the Broncos really don't have any more of those opportunities because it's the Packers, it's the Jags, it's the Chiefs, and it's the Chargers. So they're probably going to have to keep winning the same way they've been winning on this 10-game win streak, which is find a way at the end to be better than the other team. And they've done that every single week for a couple months now.
Henry Chisholm, once again, our guest here on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. One thing I want to talk about more on the offense is that wide receiver-wise, I've been impressed. And maybe it's just me, but I've been impressed by the depth of wide receivers that they have. I mean, I don't know if they say they have like a superstar like Jamar Chase, but they have a lot of guys that can contribute, can make big plays at the right times. Do you agree with that?
Right. And we're talking about the Packers this week and that group of receivers that has its similarities to the Broncos group. You don't really know who the number one is. It's different guys who can do different things at different times. For the Broncos, Courtland Sutton's kind of the staple. He's the one guy who every week you know what you're going to get, and it's probably going to come out to about 60 yards or so. He's going to make some catches on third downs. He's going to give you a tough catch down the sideline at some point during the game. Outside of that, though, it's kind of this revolving door. And it's a young group of receivers who they aren't quite as far along as the Packers group. Those guys have a little bit more NFL experience and are similar to Jordan Love, I guess, just a year or two ahead of where the Broncos are at this point. But yeah, I mean, you saw Troy Franklin kind of grow into a true starting NFL receiver. In the past couple of weeks, been a little bit quiet. But in those past couple of weeks, you've seen Evan Ingram finally had a good game, tight end, but basically plays receiver. You see Pat Bryant take one more step up, who I think long-term is going to be a very important piece for the Broncos just because of the ability to catch the ball on the run and keep moving. But, he's a rookie receiver. And so how much can you really trust him? They have this deep rotation going. Of course, Marvin Mims. I had a chance to talk to Marvin yesterday because he just won the ASC Special Teams Player of the Week for his punt return touchdown. But, he says he's not worried about the opportunities because what gives him peace is knowing that essentially every time they've given him an opportunity, he's taken advantage of it. Like throughout his career, the Broncos, a 112 passer rating when they throw the ball to him, better than any other receiver on the team. And he just knows that the way this offense works is you rotate through all these different things. You might see Marvin in the backfield or jet sweeps and little drag screens, or you can see him downfield. Last December, he wound up with 300 yards in 4 games because that's just what the game plan called for. So it's always interesting to see who they go to any given week. A lot of different skill sets. But, I think Troy Franklin's still 22. Marvin's 23. I think Pat Bryant, despite being a rookie, might already be 24. I want to say he's 23. It's just such a young group that's finding its footing. Doesn't necessarily line up perfectly with the timeline the Broncos are on now, trying to make a run this year. But for the future, boy, is it exciting to see all those guys have their different flashes.
Henry, I want to know, what's more impressive story or I want to say impressive story. Is it Alex Singleton coming back from cancer and still leading this team in tackling despite all that in the same season, or the year that we're seeing from Nick Bonito with 12.5 sacks and the amount of impact he's having each and every game?
It's tough. I think the thing with Singleton is that he's kind of the brains of this defense, and that's the piece that doesn't really get recognized. But he's your green dot. He's the guy who's getting the call on every play. He's the guy lining everybody up. You watch him pre-snap. He's turned around talking to safeties about the coverages. He's up there at the line of scrimmage, pointing out where the defensive line should be going. So it's easy to just look at him and say, yeah, he's a pretty solid tackling linebacker. Doesn't give you too much in man coverage, but he's good at reading the quarterback's eyes, can float a little bit in the second level of the field and make a couple plays in zone coverage. A good, solid NFL starting linebacker. Whereas Nick Bonito, I mean, there are plenty of the advanced stats that would say he's just about the best edge rusher in the NFL, as crazy as that sounds. But the pressure rate, the quick win rate, and it helps that because of the way the Broncos play defense, he doesn't get double teamed at the same rate, a Myles Garrett or a Micah Parsons does. And so those sorts of advanced numbers can get a little bit inflated. But still, that's kind of the future of the Broncos defense right there, in the ability to get to the quarterback quickly, hopefully start forcing more double teams in the future. They're both really good stories. Of course, talking to Alex. So I went to Montana. I'm from Montana. He went to Montana State. So Alex and I get to spend a lot of time together, talking some Big Sky football.
Love it.
But just the ability to come back from cancer is unbelievable. It's even tough to put in perspective. And that's one of the things he said is he hasn't really had a chance to process it because the whole experience, you still go through tests and monitor to make sure that nothing new is popping up. But, essentially it was 1 month ago he gets diagnosed, and now he's back and feeling like himself, and, keep monitoring, but doesn't really have to pay too much attention to it. And so that whole experience of, all the things that you think about with cancer, between your own long-term health, your short-term health, the whether you can have kids after testicular cancer, all these things that just kind of came and went over the course of 2 weeks, and he's back in the middle of a football season. It's just tough to wrap your mind around.
Henry Chisholm, DNVR Sports, covers the Denver Broncos for them. Henry, it's always great to catch up, my friend. We'll do it again soon. Thanks again for the time.
Definitely, anytime.
Once again, great stuff there from Henry Chisholm of DNVR Broncos. All right, I want to take our final break. We'll come back, wrap up the show with some questions from the text line, and the Sharon Moore situation, and, of course, there's a big slate of high school hoops on tap for tonight. We'll get to all that next in the Blitz.
Out here in Kansas, we take pride in our roots and in the future of agriculture. Starting January 1st, you can show that pride on every mile of road. Get your Kansas FFA specialty license plate at your county treasurer's office. Each plate gives $50 straight back to support FFA. Proudly sponsored by the Kansas FFA Foundation.
At Next Tech Wireless, get the iPhone 17 on us. iPhone 17 comes in 4 gorgeous colors with a brighter 6.3-inch display and a ceramic 2 shield front that's 3 times more scratch resistant. Capture super high-resolution shots by default with the advanced 48MP dual fusion camera system and have flexible ways to frame your shot with dual capture video for simultaneous front and rear recording. Next Tech Wireless, connecting Kansas.
Around here, we take care of our neighbors, and that's just how we do business. At St. Francis Tire and Service, we treat every car like it's our own. Friendly faces, honest work, and dependable service. Right here, serving St. Francis and beyond.
Don't get left out in the cold this winter. Stay powered up with a Generac home standby generator from Hitchcock Incorporated of Goodland. Your local pros for Generac sales and installation. Reliable power, peace of mind. Call Hitchcock Incorporated today before the next outage hits.
From drive-through banking to mobile deposit, we make it easy to get things done on your schedule. Banking should fit your life, not the other way around. This is Jessica Von Lintel at F&B Bank. Banking made simple. In a small town, your banker should know more than just your account number. They should know your name. At F&B Bank, we believe in real conversations, friendly faces at home. I'm Paige Sneathen, Vice President at F&B Bank, and we're proud to serve your family like our own. Member FDIC.
Sports talk that's fast, fresh, and always on point.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Thank you to listener Michael. Says it's a kick butt show today. Thank you, Michael. Well, we appreciate that. Tell you what, the numbers on the video stream would agree as well.
Pretty good.
We've had in a while. So shout out to all those on the video stream this morning. The Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Thanks to you. Listener Kyle had a couple quick questions for us. Who is better going forward, Kansas or Nebraska on basketball? I'm going to go KU on this.
Probably.
I think they have the best player in the I think that if not the best, one of the best players in the country. And no offense to Nebraska, the exciting. I think athleticism is going to catch up to the exciting whites at some point in time. I don't know when. It's just my thought.
I agree. I think with Darren Peterson, Kansas is better. Without Nebraska, honestly, probably
give them a run for their money. Give them a run for their money without Darren.
Yeah, it's close.
But if Darren Peterson's on the floor, I don't know about that. We'll get to the next question. The Sharon Moore situation, former head coach of Michigan, is nuts. Can you believe this whole story when it broke and how it all ended up panning out over the course of a 5-hour span?
I mean, more and more stuff just kept coming out over the night. Like it's still hard to like wrap my head around exactly what happened because it's like oh, he just got fired. Like, oh man, that's weird. They went 9-3, like they lost to Ohio State, but like that's not grounds for firing. And then you see the thing about the cheating, and then you see what happened with him after, and now some more allegations are coming out. Like, I honestly just hope he's okay, man. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's in the best spot.
That's a man who had a mental breakdown just in the matter of a moment, you know?
Yeah.
He got this is the thing I want to ask for a person who despises Michigan like you, or people like you. I want to know, to me, it smelled fishy.
Yeah.
Like when it reports that something apparently was going on back in October, but nothing was done. We end up going 9-3. We don't make the playoffs. Now we need to use this ammo that we have in this weapon here. We need to use this information that we have. So now we can fire him for cause and we can go get ourselves a better coach. That's what this smelled like when I first saw it. When it first broke, I was like, the guy went 9-3, had a really good season. What do you do? And he's got a freshman quarterback that I know, once again, he's flirting with the portal because everybody does. But if Bryce Underwood comes back, it's a heck of a good quarterback to work with. But you went 9-3, and that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But now it's like they knew about this and they finally used this against him. So now they can go out and get a coach without having to pay Sharon Moore or anything else. And you're Sharon Moore and you're like, I got my hand caught in the cookie jar is one way to put it. I could put it other ways, but I'm going to say hand caught in the cookie jar here with some problems. And then, now you're going to have issues with your own wife and kids. And I mean, then the whole thing of going to his lover's place and pulling a knife. I mean, it's getting arrested. I mean, it was a mental breakdown from the moment that it all broke for Sharon Moore.
And like, to your point, I saw some reports that like they might have known about it before and they waited till after signing day to do it so they could get the recruits. But I mean, if you're looking at that part of the story, I mean, recruits are just going to run off now. I mean, it's not like they were going to stick through that. They're like the guy that
letter of intent. They signed their NLI. The question is, will Michigan let them out of it?
If they have any, if they have any semblance of
dignity,
yeah, they'll do it. But there have been things that have shown otherwise for them in the past. So it's just that's one of the craziest, messiest coaching situations ever in all
it's
of
amazing how quickly it all went down.
college sports. Yeah, it's unreal.
Kyle asks, where do they turn with all the big names gone? Well, the funny thing is, all the chat is Kalen DeBoer. That's where people from Michigan say is Kalen DeBoer.
No way.
Which, you know where I'd say you'd go if he wants to jump back in the coaching realm? Brian Kelly. That's where I'd say.
Oh,
he's a Michigan guy.
Yes,
get his career at Grand Valley State, baby.
Get another bad guy at coach. There you go. Please.
I don't. Yeah, or just stick with Biff Poggi. I mean, the guy
has experience
and eats Haagen-Dazs ice cream. He's won. Why not?
He's got the Michigan blood in him a little bit. I mean, I feel like you could.
Such a weird deal. God, that whole storyline is just
odd, messed up.
So messed up and odd. Golly, it's a terrible deal. Hoops tonight. Once again, you've got the purple and gold tournament. Hoxie girls get Osborne championship semifinals. Hoxie boys get Osborne in the consolation semis. Topside tip-off day one. Goodland boys get Burlington. Goodland girls versus Norton tonight. Both those games here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Colby boys and girls get Wichita Life Prep. That will be a challenge. 100.3 The Ride is where you can listen to that tonight. The Brewster Sagebrush Shootout. They used to be a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday tournament or Tuesday, Friday, Saturday tournament. Now it's just a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They've decided to change it up this year. First round matchups include girls side Wallace County Tri-Plains Brewster, Golden Plains Western Plains, Shiloh CFE, and St. Francis Weskin. Boys first round matchups Weskin, Tri-Plains Brewster, Shiloh Western Plains, Wallace County CFE, and St. Francis Golden Plains for the Brewster Sagebrush Shootout day one today over in Brewster. And like I mentioned, busy day in wrestling as well. The Lady Eagle Invitational happening today. That'll be exciting. Lots of area teams attending that. Hoxie boys have a double duel with Pine Creek, Colorado, and ACCHS. Those two teams, by the way, coming to Colby for the Eagle Invitational starting on Friday. Oakley boys and girls have a duel with Holcomb today, and Colby Community College women's wrestling up in Hastings, Nebraska, a tri-duel with Sioux Falls University. So there you go, your local sports slate, busy slate here on Thursday.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Michael goes, Marcus Freeman could go to Michigan, then Gruden to the Irish would be no big surprise. I think that'd be a shocking deal.
I don't think he's coming back to coaching.
That would be absolutely shocking. I don't care who you are. That is nuts.
I think he's done coaching.
Oh, my. Let's see here. Yeah, Jared L. was wondering, is Sharon Moore in jail? Yes, I believe he is in prison right now.
He's in protective custody, they said.
Custody? Okay.
Yeah.
Probably needs to have a straitjacket on him from what happened, unfortunately. But yikes.
Yeah.
That's a tough deal. I mean, it's a crazy sign deal, but it's a tough deal.
Yes.
Did you hear the story about the Indiana defensive tackle who got hurt celebrating with the fans?
No, I missed it.
There was I forget the guy's name, but one of their starting defensive linemen for Indiana is out for the CFP because he was running around the stadium giving high fives, ended up hurting one of his legs, and he's out.
Stephen Daly.
Yeah.
Oh my, I don't know if you remember this story, but do you remember Kendrys Morales when he was on the Angels? He tore his ACL jumping into home plate after he hit a walk-off homer.
Oh, Martin Gramatica for the Buccaneers kicking a field goal to win it, celebrating, and tore his ACL after celebrating in that. I mean, yeah, it's
crazy.
Happened before. You got to know how far to go. You got to keep it under control.
Yeah. Yes.
I just thought it was funny. He's out for the season for giving high fives to fans. Rough.
Unreal.
Rough deal there.
Feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, that's a bad deal. That'll do it for the program today. Thanks again for all the viewers on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream and all the listeners on the radio. Catch Goodland and Colby basketball tonight on 100 Point for the Ride or Goodland's Rock at 102.5. And we're back again on a Friday to wrap up a week. Have a good Thursday. It's been the Blitz.